Hi everybody, welcome back to my FlossTube channel. I'm Liz, the cross-stitching diva, and today I've got some progress updates as well as some haul. And I know after the last video I said that I'm going to try and avoid adding anything else to my collection, but I have a good excuse, I swear. So today I'm gonna start with showing off some progress. I only have progress on 2 pieces this week. And what I will say is I actually filmed my last FlossTube video about a week and a half before I posted it. So I am just short of 3 weeks in terms of progress, but I've only been focusing on 2 projects because I want to get them done as close to the end of July as possible. So that's my little asterisk on everything of I only have 2 pieces to show you. It's been 3 weeks though, so I do have, I think I stitched about 6,000 stitches in those 3 weeks. I will say that was including the 4th of July holiday, so I did have a little bit more time to stitch, but it was spread among 2 pieces and truly really focused on one. So the first one I'm going to show you is my Briar Rose, and this is a gift for my best friend for his birthday. His birthday is next month. And I'll show her up here. She's really cute. She's adorable. She has a lot more work to go. She's about 5,000 stitches in total, and I've gotten about 1,000 stitches in her so far. She's I want to say 28% done. So that would definitely be more than just 1,000 stitches if she's about 5,000, but math, whatever. She will need to be finished by the end of this month, and truly the next couple of days I really want to focus on her, finish getting her outline done, and then being able to just fill in so that I can get her finished and fully finished so that I can give this to my best friend for his birthday coming up in August. Now my next piece, I'm really proud of the progress that I made. This is not Enchanted. This is Garden Prelude by Mirabilia, and I have finished her dress. So she is now beautifully finished in her dress, and you can see that I do have some of the greenery started. I started with the greenery first because it was the center of the project. I'm somebody who likes to do a center start unless I am doing something that's full coverage. So she has some of the greenery done. This is about 16,000 stitches. She is just short of 60% complete. So my next step is getting her upper body done, her face, her hair, her violin, which I'm really excited to get stitched, and then it will just be the background then. Now, if you can see here, she is in a garden setting. It's actually based in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And so it is, I believe she's supposed to be in front of a painting or in like a cloister. I'm not 100% sure, but it's absolutely gorgeous and I love the backdrop of it. I've seen a lot of people stitch her on really fun, cool fabric that has somewhat of a backdrop to it, and so they choose not to stitch the backdrop that is charted. But because I am doing it on the called for, I am going to go ahead and do the backdrop as charted. Additionally with her, one of the really cool things for me is this will be my first time working with Karen water lilies, which are used throughout the flowers to add a little bit of a gradient to it and add that almost painted quality. So I look forward to working with those as I stitch the backdrop. This is actually also my first time working with silks, so some new fun things for me coming up. I've worked with DMC, I've worked with Krynic before, but this will be my first time working with water lilies, so I'm very excited about that. So that is all of my stitching updates. Now, haul. I swore in the last video that I would not be picking up much more. And then somebody posted on a D-Stash group and I felt the need. I felt called to pick up 7 more patterns. So in my defense, the thing that really sent me over the edge was they were going for $10 a piece, which if you pick up on 1-2-3 Stitch, knowing that those are brand new patterns, 1-2-3 Stitch, you can usually get them for about $15. Local stitching shops, you can get something similar in price, but, or sometimes it's a little bit more, all depends. But usually you can pick up Mirabilias anywhere from $15 to $20. And so a $10 pattern is a pretty great steal than paying whatever shipping you have to pay. Cool, fine, great, whatever. Now, I will say what I ended up paying was about $30 in shipping because one of the patterns that I had requested didn't come. I believe somebody else got it. They had tried to claim it and then said never mind, and then I went ahead and I commented on it, but that happened for a couple of the ones that I'm about to show you. And so more than likely that person had claimed never mind, but sent a private message and still ended up working something out, which it is what it is. $30 in shipping, not ideal, but the reason why I'm not super peeved about that is because one of the patterns that I got is an out of print pattern. Now, I am somebody who, there are some of the out of print patterns that I'm like, oh my God, I want that, I love that, but I know how much some of them go for. For example, I'd love to stitch Tiger Lily, I'd love to stitch Bluebell, I'd love to stitch, I think there's one more that's out of print in that specific line. Editing Liz here. So Tiger Lily and Bluebell are actually from 2 different lines within Nora Corbett. Tiger Lily is from the Pixie Couture collection, which also includes Rose, Violet, and Poppy that are all out of print. And then in the Spring Garden Party Pixie collection is Bluebell, and then Lilac is the other one that is out of print in that line. From Nora Corbett. I think they're beautiful, but for me, I know that there are a lot of other Nora Corbett's that are still in print that I would like to pick up first, and I'd like to stitch those first, and then once time has come for me to stitch that set, I want to stitch what is in print first and then see if I can get my hands on Tiger Lily, Bluebell, and I want to say Sweet Pea, but part of me also says that Sweet Pea is still in print. But also those patterns tend to go for $200 to $300 a piece, which is not what I want to pay. It's something that that's not in my budget right now. It's because they're out of print, and because there is a want and a need, there's a reason why those patterns are going for that high. I'm actually going to link a video down below by Cross Stitch the Globe. They've actually gone over what the highest cost patterns are. So the most expensive patterns. And I watched it with my mom when I was home over the 4th of July holiday, and she was just like, oh my God. And it's like, I remember seeing those in stores, I should have picked them up. But all that to say, I picked up an out of print pattern for $10 that normally goes for about $80. So I paid $30 extra in shipping, whatever. But I could say that I paid $20, $30 if we actually move the cost around. But this is Deepest Love by Mirabilia. She is MD 42. And for those of you who remember, my very first Mirabilia that I stitched was a Mirabilia mermaid, Enchanted Mermaid. And so I do have a special place in my heart for the mermaids. She's just absolutely gorgeous. I look forward to stitching her, and I did open her up without breaking the seal, and this is a pattern that has barely been opened. It was clearly not, this pattern at least was not stitched from. Somebody may have used it for reference and taken a scan of it, but they did not stitch directly from this pattern, from just having opened it, and it's still sealed. So an absolute steal. And one of the cool things that I noticed when I was looking at this was Mirabilia Designs with a P.O. box number and Columbus, Ohio. So for those of you who don't know, I'm from Ohio. My local cross stitch shop is about 2 hours south of me in Columbus, Ohio. And so obviously this was probably before Witchelt Designs actually got Mirabilia Designs as part of their company, which, that's amazing. Like, this is in such pristine quality. It's clearly an original, and I got it for $10. So I'm really excited about that. Now, the other 6 patterns that I picked up with this are the rest of the Astrology Girls from Nora Corbett. So I'll go through these kind of quickly. So I got Pisces, which is NC 339. Aries, NC 328. Taurus, which is NC 329. Cancer, NC 331. Trying to be mindful of the glare. Leo, NC 332. And Virgo, NC 333. So if you watched my last video and did the mental math, I am still just missing one of the Astrology Girls. Now, that was the pattern that I thought I was getting that didn't actually end up coming. Obviously, it probably went to a wonderful home. I paid for it, but I'm willing to count the $10 loss. It's fine. So the last one that I need is Aquarius, and I will have the complete Astrology Girl set. So my next haul will probably include that, or at least one of my hauls throughout this year, but truly I'm going to try and just buy that pattern and be done buying patterns for the year, unless there's something really beautiful released that I'm like, I need this. Now, I have 2 more patterns. I didn't buy them. These were gifts from my mom. So if you watched my first video, you'll know that my mom is also an avid cross stitcher. She would bring me into the cross stitch shops while I was a little kid, and I was drawn to the fancy ladies, but my mom was not a fancy lady stitcher. And so once I started stitching my very first Mirabilia, she gave me her entire stash of Mirabilias that she had picked up, in hopes that she would one day stitch them for me. Never got around to it because it's not her style, but it's mine. And so I have 3 patterns from her originally, plus one that she picked up for an Easter present for me. She was in Columbus at our local stitching shop and picked up 2 more patterns. So the 2 patterns that my mom picked up for me were Camille in Blue, which is NC 186. Now, this is one that she said, oh my God, it's so pretty. I think I might stitch that myself. And I opened it up and I looked at the pattern and I realized that all of the black in there is stitched. This is a full coverage Mirabilia pattern. And as soon as I told my mom that, she said, okay, never mind. And so she is going to be absolutely gorgeous. She's 118 by 168. Has DMC blends and DMC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different water lilies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different beads plus 2 treasures. So she's clearly a lovely but big pattern. You actually stitch the frame itself, if you can see within it. But it is a full coverage Mirabilia. And so absolutely gorgeous. Will take me forever. She's probably going to be something that I save for later. Just because I've got so many other Mirabilias and Nora Corbetts that I'm focusing on right now and would like to stitch in the near future. She just slightly intimidates me at this point in time, if I'm being completely honest. Now, the last pattern that I have is a pattern that I absolutely adore. And she is one that when I first saw her, I said, oh my goodness, I'm going to stitch her. I want to stitch her. And I was talking with my mom a couple weeks ago, right around the time I was filming my first FlossTube video. And she had gone to our local stitching shop and had taken a peek in, and she's just like, there's a lot of really pretty stuff, but I don't know what you have and I don't know what you want. And I kind of jokingly said to her, oh, I have a list. Like, I've printed off the listing of what all of the Mirabilias are, and I've like marked, okay, these are the ones that I really want. These are the ones like I absolutely have to have. These are ones that, oh, I'd like to stitch that. And then there are ones that it's just like, nah, I'm good. It's not quite my style. But the one that she mentioned, it's just like, this one I saw and I thought you'd like it, but I didn't know if you had it. And it's Stargazer. And Stargazer has actually gone in and out of print because it is such a popular pattern. And I have her. So she is in print right now. And it's just this absolutely gorgeous pattern. It's so beautiful to me. And I'm somebody who absolutely loved looking up at the night sky, and it's gorgeous. This is ND88. She is 190 by 275, and the dress is just this absolute gorgeous compilation of blues and silvers, and obviously the black and gray up top. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to stitch her on navy so that you can truly get the feeling of that night sky. And so she is pretty much DMC with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different beads. But what I will say is, looking at the beads on the back, there's 6 different beads, but it calls for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 bead packs, because one is used 3 times and 2 are used, you need 2 packs. So one that you need 3 packs of, which is a lot of beads. But absolutely gorgeous. This is something that will more than likely pop ahead in line of a couple of the patterns that I have. And I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful. I have a lot of Nora Corbett and Mirabilias. I am a fancy lady stitcher, and that is what I'm going to be focusing on a lot of. But for those of you who subscribe to me because you enjoyed all of my Disney patterns, they will be coming out. So let's talk about plants. On a recent Cross Stitch the Globe video, and I'm going to try and find which one it is and give credit to whoever they mentioned here. There is somebody who has a spreadsheet of all of their patterns, but they, instead of organizing it in just like what patterns they have, they actually break it down and color coordinate it by how much of each pattern is done. And so they split it up between 0 and 25%, 25 and 50, 50 and 75, 75 to 100. Or at least that's what I'm remembering in my brain. Now, for me, I really enjoy that. I need to see the progress that's being made because a lot of the patterns that I have are larger. So being able to say that, okay, I've been able to move it up to the next category, although I haven't finished it, I feel gives me that drive to keep working on them. So I have it right here. You can see there's a bunch of colors. I've added my own kind of extra categories for this. So I have just pattern, which means something like this. So Stargazer, I just have the pattern. I literally just got it. Paper patterns, I always digitize using backstitch. That way I'm not stitching directly from the pattern. I've tried scanning them before and have just not had success scanning them and getting them into Pattern Keeper. So I would rather just hand chart it and get it into MaxStitch, which then exports. I can put it into Pattern Keeper, load it in, and be good to go and just go from there. I've got, so just pattern, I have my list of digitized patterns, and then I've got in Pattern Keeper. Now, I know that Pattern Keeper is not necessarily meant to be a storage for your patterns. It's not. But what I will say is that I use Pattern Keeper that way right now, and I don't feel really bad about it just because it's the only thing that I use my tablet for. I strictly use my tablet for Pattern Keeper. And so literally the only thing on this tablet is Pattern Keeper and patterns. I keep digital copies of everything in my Google Drive, but everything else is just in Pattern Keeper, but it's the only thing on my tablet. So my next category is kitted. So these are the projects that I have all of the materials for, or at least all of the materials that I need to start the project. And so I've got kitted, and then 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100. So right now I've got 24 patterns that are just patterns. I've got 10 patterns that are digitized. I have 71 patterns in Pattern Keeper. Hi, I told you I have a lot in there. I've got 4 projects that are kitted, 7 projects that are 0 to 25%, 1 project that is 25 to 50%, 1 project that is 50 to 75%, and then 0 that are 75 to 100%. So my goals for the end of this month are to take several of the just patterns and digitize them. So 6 more just patterns into digitized. So that would be the remaining 6 of the astrology zodiac girls that I'd like to get there. And then my goal is then to complete my 25 to 50%, get that into 75 to 100%, which is the Briar Rose that you saw earlier, and move my 50 to 75%, which is Garden Prelude, into 75 to 100%, hopefully finishing both of them by the end of this month. Now, by the end of the year, which we're about halfway done with the year, so I've got plenty of time, but also we're halfway done with the year. I'd like to have all of my patterns that are just paper completely digitized. So all of the Mirabilias that I have that are on standby, all of the Nora Corbett's that I have, get them all put into MaxStitch, have them completely digitized, and put them into Pattern Keeper. Now, I would like to, big goal, get kitted all of my Mirabilia and Nora Corbett's, which would mean that I have 32 patterns kitted by the end of this year. I don't know how realistic that's going to be in terms of financial, but we shall see. I want at least 5 patterns in 0 to 25%. I believe that's the 4 that I have kitted right now. Sorry, take that back. That is 5 of the ones that I already have started right now. And I'd like to get one of those at least up to 25 to 50%. And then I'd like a total of 18 patterns to be 75 to 100% done. We'll see. We'll see. So the next time that you see me, I should hopefully have at least an upper body of my lovely violinist and hopefully hair and a violin. We'll see. And I hope to have Briar Rose complete. So that is it for today. Please check me out on other social media. On Instagram, I am the cross-stitching diva, or more accurately, it is just cross-stitching-diva. On TikTok, I am at cross.stitching.diva. I said it wrong last time. There is a dot in between because I couldn't get the one without dots, and when I tried to change it, I changed my username too recently. It's fine, it is what it is. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button below, hit subscribe. I should have another video for you by the end of next week. So thank you so much for being here and have a wonderful day.